Hey everybody, Bess McCarty here from Victoria, Kansas, bringing to you the Ask Bess Show. And this is a show where you can come, listen, learn. You can ask a question below or private message me for any question or issue that you might like me to address on the show, and I'll respond to you. So like an old Ann Landers, if you remember that. Today the topic is what to do when you wake up in the middle of the night. What do you do when you wake up in the night? What do you do with that when you can't sleep, and then how can you get back to sleep? So this happens to me occasionally, but even more so during this isolated time. And I wanted to share with you what I've been personally experiencing. Even though I am a coach, therapist, all the stuff that I am, um, I go through things too. Go through emotional things too. First of all, let me give you my first and most important message, and that is, you matter. I hear you. I'll respond. You're bigger than any problem that is before you, and there's a solution to every problem, and it's always within reach, and you don't have to do it alone. I'll help, and other people will help. Down below, I'll post a link for free self-help tools called Real Conversations, a process that I developed and trademarked after working with myself and clients and students for many years. You can find that on the site bessmccarty.com/real, and I'll also post that below for you. So, who am I to be talking about this? I'm a body-mind therapist, holistic health practitioner, inner child therapist, Reiki master, neuromuscular therapist, for over 30 years, helping people to overcome fears and negative beliefs. Author, speaker, Tai Chi artist, grandmother, minister, author, speaker, all of that. So I love to help people in all these different ways, any way that I can. But individually, YouTube. So glad you are listening here, or wherever your platform that you're listening on. Glad to be here with you. My purpose is to help people grow and have the best lives that they can. So today the topic is about what I've been experiencing. I wanted to share with you what I've been experiencing during this time of the pandemic. Even though I have all those credentials and all that stuff and all that personal growth under my belt, I've still been feeling down, like this heaviness. And I thought, when else have I felt like that? I felt like this before, when my mother passed away, when my little dog passed away, that little guy a year ago. He was just a part of me for 15 years. And so after he left, I felt very like, well, what's life for anymore, right? Because he was a little one that I could love. And as the psychologist Pat Allen says, we all need three things. We need something to do, somewhere to go, someone to love. Maybe not in that order, but that's it. We need all these things. And suddenly this little person, like my child that I had been taking care of, didn't need me anymore. And I thought, well, now, what is the purpose to life? So I had to rediscover the purpose, just like when my son left home. So this is a feeling I've been having lately, like this heaviness. It seems like I'm more emotional, more distracted, have less focus. I'm not getting as much done as I had wanted to. But I'm trying to allow for that and saying, Bess, this is a time of loss and of grieving of life as we knew it. So I've just been talking with other friends, and I know that one lost a senior citizen friend who she feels believed that he passed away out of depression, that he was just depressed when his senior center closed, and he no longer had all the people that he would interact with. That gradually, after a month of being in isolation, even though he had a friend and some family members visit him to take care of him in his home, after a month he passed away, because this, he maybe felt the loss of all the people that he had been. People meant so much to me. He was a real people person. And another lady who's married and has two dogs still felt down too, and she said that some days she didn't feel like getting out of bed, and other days she would pop up and have energy and get a lot done and everything, but some days she just didn't. And so I'm noticing that even though these are emotionally healthy people, we might all be feeling some of this together. I know that me as a introvert, when this isolation mandate first came out, I thought, oh boy, think of all I'm going to get done here. You know, I'm less going to have more time and less distraction. I've gotten about half of it done. And I'm realizing, wow, people are really, really important to me. They really do nourish me, and I really do need that. So I'm realizing now the wisdom of that quote: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And I love that, wherever it came from. But this is what happens to me when I wake up in the middle of the night, and I can understand that. And maybe things are going through my head or my heart. So what I do is I write it down. I have a little journal and pen by my bed, so when I wake up, I just write these things down. At least it gets it out of my head and onto paper. It helps to discharge, it helps to debrief that. You could also talk to your mate or speak into a voice recorder, or turn a low light on and write it, or get a lighted pen. These are all ways to get it. This is what I do in the middle of the night. So I write down these things. Sometimes if it's things that I'm supposed to remember to do or things that have come to me, I'll write that down. Okay, they will be remembered in the morning. You know, I got it. I don't have to lay here trying to remember everything. It's written down. It will be taken care of. But sometimes I'm writing down things that bother me. And that's when I like to slip into my inner child state and let me write whatever is in my heart, and just write it out with no judgment or logic needed or maturity of adulting. Just write out what's bothering me in my heart. So the other night I wake up and this is what came out. I don't like the world right now. It's scary. It's toxic. I have to go out and protect myself and protect other people. I don't like that, you know, thinking that the world is toxic right now. I don't like that it's scary. There's protesters and rioters and people hurting people out there. And they're scared people, worried about their economy right now. You know, all of us, you know, how does this affect the world going forward? How is our lives going to be different when we come out of this? How long is it going to go on? And whenever there's this uncertainty, there's anxiety and fear because we're no longer in control. We never were, but we had some control, but we feel less in control. We feel more worried. We feel scared. You know, life is different now. And they say it's going to be different going forward. So my inner child is saying, well, what does, you know, maybe I'm grieving. Maybe I have anxiety or grieving about life as it was. You know, I'm grieving the loss of certainty. I'm grieving the loss of a purpose when I can't go to work. I'm speaking for the general people right now. When I can't go to work, when I can't, when my job is shifted or changed or lost, it's taken a different form. You know, I feel do I feel as much needed? You know, do I feel a purpose in life? Missing people, missing hugs, missing seeing their smiles behind their masks, missing being able to stand close to someone and converse with them versus from a distance. That's weird. You know, so I'm grieving life as it was. Grieving the 3 trips that I canceled. One was to see my granddaughter, one was a spiritual trip, one was a business trip. But I realized they each nourished me, even though initially I thought, okay, all the energy that, you know, and the expense and everything going these trips, I can relax now, I can save that. But still I miss that somehow. I miss going on them and the nourishment that they gave me, and me being able to connect with other people. So that's all a loss, isn't it? Some of us are now what we do about it. My Real Conversations process says what you do is notice a problem, like can't sleep. Okay, then the feeling is this anxiety for all these reasons I mentioned, kind of grief maybe. And then the third step is find out what you need behind all of that. Well, I might be needing security, love, trust in the process of life, trust in the divine principle. I might be needing all of those. So how do I meet those? A lot of us are meeting that by phone calls with loved ones or friends, by Zooms with them. Last night, I had a block party here in my neighborhood. I have this real huge lawn, this huge, beautiful lawn. And I thought, why not invite the neighbors over? So I said, bring a lawn chair, bring a sack supper, and sunglasses or hat if you wish. And we'll just sit on the lawn 6 feet apart. It was kind of a windy day, a nice, beautiful, sunny summer night, or spring night. And that worked last night. We had about 15 people come out, and they worked very well. Some people were meeting each other for the first time in my neighborhood, and they all loved it. each one, before they left, they stayed like over 2 hours. And it was a lot of fun and visiting. I got to visit with everybody eventually, staying that 6 feet apart. And most people did. Some of them got closer, like about 4 or 5 feet. But for the most part, people were respecting the distance. And before each one left, they each said to me how much it meant to them, how truly much it meant to them. I've been in this neighborhood a number of years. This is the first time I've done that, because I was feeling, everybody might be feeling that isolation, and what can I do? So this solution came up, and it was really fun. So that was one way that I'm that notice that people are meeting the need, to connect with other people. Another thing that helps me is to realize that when I have that anxiousness or that fear, that I feel out of control in some way, and that I can, what I do for in those times is I do my spiritual work. Well, first of all, I see a lot of people have been, unemployed. A lot of people have applied for unemployment or gotten side gigs going to take care of themselves financially. They're doing things to boost their immune system and exercise and get fresh air and cold showers and all this stuff to take care of their immune system. So what I realize is what we can do is we can do the best we can and then turn the rest over to life. Trust that whatever we're going through has some spiritual purpose. And with this heaviness might be developing in me some spiritual muscle. Like if I go to the gym and I add weights, like everything feels doubly heavy right now. So I'm thinking, I must be developing spiritual muscle as a result. Because when I go to the gym and I double the weights, I'm working on new muscles. So I'm thinking that's what this time is doing for me as well. And when I remember that, I think, okay, I'm not just being drugged down here. I'm gaining something. I'm gaining more positivity, more connection with God, more compassion for my fellow man, more creative ways to reach out and pivot and work with flexibility of what's needed right now in business, or new creative ways to take a walk with a friend down the block 6 feet apart, or we're finding new ways, aren't we? We're being creative, but most of all, I'm remembering that every single thing that happens to me is for a spiritual purpose. Everything is for my spiritual good, even if I can't see it right now. And when I trust that, I feel a lot better. The whole trick is to be able to watch the news but not get lost in it. To be able to embrace my emotions and needs, but not too much. And to be able to be there for a friend with compassion, but at the same time remembering that whatever they're going through is a spiritual form. It's a gift for them in some way. One thing that helps me is singing Hugh. This is a spiritual word that I found 40 years ago that gives me an instant connection to God. I found it in my spiritual path, Ekankar, but I've since found that many people use Hugh. It's not confined to any certain religion. It's a tool that we can use. Anybody can use it. And it opens my heart to divine love and gives me like a little telephone line, instant connection with the divine. And I'll show you how it goes. It's H-U. You can Google it, but here's how it sounds. Hugh. So this is a tool that I found and loved for over 30 years. It always helps to calm me, center me, connect me with divine love, give me inner guidance, comfort, whatever that I need. So after I journal in the night, and I might ask God for a dream, insight, help me to understand this, but then I sing Hugh and go back to sleep. So those are my tools for what we can do in the middle of the night. I also have some real conversations free tools for you, the method that I mentioned. I put those in a free info product, and they are at bessmccarty.com/real, bessmccarty.com/real. I'll also post the link below, as well as a Tuesday night free class that I'm making free to everybody right now. You can just dial in and have some free coaching there. You can come on anonymously. It's not recorded. It's not Zoomed. It's just a phone call, group phone call, where you can come on, listen, learn, be heard, get help, any of those things. So I'll post that below. You can share that link. It's for everyone to come on, talk about anything, health, wealth, love, anything. And then some people like to call me for private work and do private coaching. So I definitely am always honored and privileged when you do that. So I'll post these links below. Thank you for being on. We'll see you for the next Ask Bess show I love you guys. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.